What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Ty here, man. Just wanted to leave y'all with a message, man, and really just encourage anybody who is just down and maybe like unsure. You know what I mean? Because we all get in those peaks. We all get to those peaks and we all get in the valleys, man. And a lot of us are in the valley, man. We've been living in the valley, and you're not used to the peaks and you're just used to the valleys, man. And anyway, man, it's Sunday, and it's been an overall good day. I've been pretty busy lately just with what I do between jobs and my main job, and then what I do in between sometimes. So sometimes it just feels really mundane, and it's the moments like these where I get to kind of enjoy some of life and just enjoy some of my hobbies and just some me time. One thing about me is I like to just hang out with myself sometimes. You don't always have to be in front of somebody. That's just me though. I just enjoy the me time and just enjoy being by myself and being in my thoughts and just entertaining myself and just really just truly just taking that time to just self-reflect and just be alone. But I wanted to just leave this message, man. And there's been times I'm actually kind of going through some stuff mentally myself, and I'll just make this brief. But I ruptured my Achilles working out at the end of March. Some of you may know this, but yeah, man, it's just one of those things where I was working out and on the turf and doing some moderate jogging to sprint work, and I planted my foot and boom, that was that. But adversity happens, man, and it's how we respond. And so I'm going through this recovery process, not realizing how long this process is, and I'm just still at the beginning. Here we are, June 8th, and I'm 10 weeks post-operation. But man, right now, if I wasn't mentally strong and wasn't like mentally strong in those areas where I've built up the mental capacity and the mental toughness to go through this, I think a lot of people would be broke. And again, I'm still early on in the process, so I'm gonna give you an update, but I think this has allowed me to understand the depth of what I'm going through and the ability to be able to go through it, because I've put myself in tough situations and I've been through tough situations, and I've allowed myself to be able to build up a callus my mind. But a lot of people, this gives me the opportunity to share with you all that a lot of people do not have that ability to go through some of the tough times, or they've not challenged themselves enough to go through some tough times. And I'm not saying that I'm just this person who's gone through a bunch of stuff, who's been able to really just I'm just up here and everybody else is below me. That's not what I'm saying. But I think through just being able to play sports and or do a combat sport and certain things in life that are thrown at you, how you respond and how you navigate through those situations really shapes and just molds you into who you are, obviously. And some of the intangible things that you cannot see, the mental fortitude, the grit, the toughness that you have to really endure, going through some of these things, really just sets you apart from some of the other people. And I think for myself that I've been able to really go through some of those things that has allowed me to be able to talk and be here in front of you. So I hope that my message and my story kind of encourage anybody who's going through some of the valleys, because again, that's life. There's peaks, we have our highs and our lows. And unfortunately, sometimes there's more lows in other people's lives than highs. Some people just really go through some tough stuff, and it's those ones who are just continuing to just push and push no matter how hard their journey is. And everybody goes through things differently, and everybody is able to handle and deal with things differently. But for those of you who are really going through it, I'm just here to encourage you I haven't lived this super, lavish life or anything. I would say I'm a I've lived a pretty regular life in regards to just my upbringing and everything, but it doesn't have to end there. You know what I mean? Like, I could just go through this world, this mundane world, and just be like, oh, woe is me, and I'm just gonna be a regular guy. But I don't want to be a regular guy, and I hope that nobody is considering themselves better. I don't consider myself, oh, I'm better than you, but I don't want to live a normal average life. I want to live what God has for me. I want to live in in abundance, and it's not to say that you need to be super greedy or but to live ambitiously and to live through some of those hardships and to be able to excel is what I want to do, and just be able to just push through, not even just push through, to run through some of those things, some of those challenges. Imagine imagine facing a challenge and sprinting right through it, just crushing it. You know what I mean? Like, not folding, not walking away, not just really having that mental capacity. And when you're in those valleys and being in taking on the challenge and being like, what, this was meant for me. I'm ready for this challenge. Even if I'm not ready for this challenge, I'm ready to go through this, as hard as I can. And if you have that mindset to go through that valley and go through that darkness, keep that in your mind, because that light is at the end of the tunnel. Like, that's there, and you keep that in your mind. You're gonna run right through it. Any obstacle, any person who's telling you no, any job who's telling you no because they think you're not worth it, or they didn't believe, the person who you thought was going to believe in your vision did not believe in your vision, or the person who you thought was going to help you didn't help you. They said it was going to help you all this time, and when push came to shove, they didn't come help you. You know what I mean? So it's going through those valleys that, that one loved one that you really, really was close to, and that, you lost them, and you're like figuring out a way, how do I continue life? Like, how do I continue going through when the person who was here with me all this whole journey, has left? How do I continue the journey? How do I continue to go through the valley? How do I get to the summit? You know what I mean? So it's like, keeping that in the forefront of your mind, like, it's bigger than what you think. It's bigger than what you think, because it's bigger than what you think is because you are an inspiration to somebody else. Somebody else is looking at you and needs you to keep pushing. So you really got to understand that. Some of you may have kids, some of you have people that rely on you. Thankfully I don't have any kids right now. When the time comes, I'm going to have people who depend on me. But even people depend on me now, being a brother, being an uncle, being a son, being a nephew, you know what I mean? Like, I have to keep pushing myself, and not only for the people who are wanting to see me do good, but for myself, man, and to prove to myself that, I either made a commitment or I made an oath to myself, to my brothers, to my family, to people who are looking at me, who I don't even know who's looking at me. There's people who are watching you who don't even know you, there's people who are watching you who you don't even know are watching you. And it's just crazy to think that, you have to keep going, man. That darkness is tough. It gets cold. It's lonely. All the times that you wake up and train, whatever you put your mind to, that job, those jobs that you're working, those rough, long hours, if you have your mindset fixed on something that's bigger than you, I promise you, you can be great. And what's crazy, one thing that David Goggins said, that I was thinking about, man, he said it's so easy to be great nowadays because everybody's just weak. It's not to dog on people, man, but everything is just making us weak. Oh, you can indulge in this. Oh, you can, do this. And I have my struggles too. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I have my struggles. And I take it to God, but like, I know at the end of the day, if I want to be great, I have to push past that. I have to get through that darkness. I have to get to that light. And so I promise you and encourage you to get to that light, get to the summit. It's hard, it's treacherous, it's gruesome, but you have to have that grit, that indomitable spirit in you to just keep pushing, man. Keep on going, man. I promise you, somebody's looking at you and they're like, damn, you're an inspiration to them. You know what I mean? And you may not even know it, man, but whatever it is, whether it's giving up alcohol, whether it's giving up smoking, whether it's giving up pornography, whether it's giving up whatever your vice is, food, you can't get to the gym, you don't know what to do, take that first step, man. I promise you, you're in the darkness, you're not sure what, you know, your husband left you, your wife left you, man. You know, you can't see your kids, man. You gotta keep pushing, bro. It's more than what you think it is, bro, because somebody needs you to keep going, bro. And then it just trickles down, bro. Somebody needs them to keep going. And then you gotta reach out and touch and give somebody else a hand, bro. And we just keep getting to we just have to keep climbing, bro, to get to the summit, man. And so for anybody who's out there and who's just really struggling, man, I hope this resonated with you, because, you know, at the end of the day, man, we gotta be here for each other. You know, it really takes a village to just keep going and to be able to, you know, get to the area that we want to get to. You know, sometimes we're going to be lonely, you know, and sometimes you may not have somebody to be there to guide you and to help assist you, man. But I promise you, if you just keep going and keep pushing, just keep the end in mind, man. Keep the end in mind. You know, it's so easy to be great, man. It's so easy to be great. You can be great. I can be great. You know what I mean? Like, we really have the capability to be great. And, you know, I don't know if anybody's going to read this message or watch this message, but I hope it touches somebody. You know, my goal has always been to just reach out and just pull somebody up and just inspire somebody. Like, I've been inspired. And so I just really hope that, you know, you keep going, man. The valleys is down there, man. But, you know, I know even through, you know, with me, with my injury right now, this is something I never thought. You know, I didn't realize how bad an Achilles rupture is, or just your Achilles in general. You know, it's killing me to even go on a walk. It was a nice day today, and I wish I could do the most basic thing. Go on a freaking walk for 20, 30 minutes and just enjoy the weather. But I can't. You know what I mean? Like, for a guy who is active, like myself, is very active, that is like mentally challenging, because I'm like, dang, I want to go walk. I want to go enjoy the weather. I want to, you know what I'm saying, keep my body moving. But I have to get over it. And I have to understand, like, this is a process, and I have to go through this valley, and the light is at the end of the tunnel. So for anybody who is going through it, the light is at the end of the tunnel. Keep pushing. I promise you, you're gonna make it. Come back to this video, get inspired. Stay dangerous, live sharp, stay dangerous. It's your boy, Ty. I'm out. Peace.